All right, yeah, there it is. Fuck. You missed nothing. It's live for the other club in Australia. Speaking of which, fuck you guys. All right.
That's Australia, you hold the front straight.
There you go, back off, cunt. All right, on the knees, forearms on the lower back. Push them really hard, feel them in front of your shoulders. Get looser as you go. Nice and relaxed. Big circles forwards. Getting smaller as you go. Backwards. Getting bigger as you go. Elbows forwards. Elbows backwards. Hands together, circles. Finger, what's left of the... Open the chest. Over, under. One at a time. Two fists under the chin, push your tongue to the top of your mouth, look at the ceiling, flex your neck. Palm to the side, up and down, circles. Other side, up and down. Little circles. All right, right on your back. Bicycles, pull your toes to you. Switch your hips side to side while you're doing it. Legs out, chokes. Hands under your butt, jackknives. Give it a twist. Switch it. Start to sit up. Lock your core. Come up on one knee. Open the hips, open the chest. Get to the top, build a frame to stand up. 1, 2, break fall. Do it again. Hip. 1, 2, break fall. Again. For reference, this is the point where you pick out what they're doing wrong. Watch me. As you come up, open the hips, open the chest. Don't drive off of your foot. Let your toes connect, and then look at my leg. Don't push. Push out.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. When you break fall, hands down, not out. If you reach for your toes, your hands are going to hit the ground before your elbows every time, okay? Make sure you reach for your toes. Don't reach out wide. Keep going.
Yeah, let's start.
Imagine there's a chair behind you. You're looking for a chair, tuck your chin, smack the ground, be dramatic. Good. Use your palms and make a slapping sound. Couple more minutes.
That wasn't a good deal. I'm like, got myself down, got a good deal.
Yeah. I went to the gym too. You have no excuse.
Was that bud?
I went to the gym too. You have no excuse.
That's true.
It's not a thing, but good for you. All right, keep it up. Good. All right, time to stand up. Forward rolls, break falls, stand in base. Watch me. When you do the forward roll, I want you to smack the mat both sides and build a frame to come up. So we're not going to connect to ourselves to come up. We're going to build a frame. So again, on my side this time, reaching for my toes, not wide. My chin is still tucked, and I built a frame. And I use that frame to scoot back on the fucking camera. From a hip escape. My elbow tucks in. I roll over the elbow, and I build my frame. Now this is always a two-part job, okay? When you do this, your job is not to go and stand up. What do I do?
Go to frame.
And, come on.
And then stand up and base.
It's fucking close, instructor, coach, guy. All right, if you stand in base, it's a two-part job. I always want you to scoot yourself up underneath yourself, okay? So always scoot your hip under, put your weight into your knee, hand behind you. You can either put your head down, ass up, or if there's no weight, stand up, foot next to hand, find your fighting base. Remember, you do your forward break fall, boom, boom, both sides. Roll over your elbow. This is not good enough for me, okay? I don't want you to stand up like this. Connect to the ground, then stand up. Let's go. That's it. So what I want you to do is make it even slower, so watch me. Couple of knees. Start like this. Left hand underneath knee. Right hand up underneath you. Okay? You're going to let your head and your shoulder touch the ground. When you do this, you're going to push off the ground. And so when you're smacking, I want you in slow motion. I want you to look like this at the end.
Right as soon as I start. It's
So
good
start
for
like
me one more
this.
time. It's because my coordination is,
For you a million times. Here.
oh, so we're starting on our new time.
For now, yeah, just learning. Yeah, you gotta go. Sitting
I
up
went
at
to
the
my
end.
left side, but it's about the same or no?
No, I don't want that. What I want is this. I want you to connect to the ground.
Alright.
So watch this. This leg to the ceiling. This leg up straight. I'm still laying on my back. My chin's up. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that's good.
That's how it's down.
Let's see. Try that again. Alright. So think of it like you were on an airbag. Alright, keep it up. One more minute. Super slow. Super slow. That's fine.
So if I feel like I'm on my back, then
Make sure you don't go so fast that it pulls you up. The slower you go, the better you're going to be. Yes, now reach your hand to your toes. Other hand. This hand. Yes, perfect. Try that one more time. Super slow and reach for your toes. Super slow. That's better. That's better. All right, time. Look at that, 15 minutes on the fucking dot. I'm a genius. Right now, so we're going to be building a frame as usual. Okay. So we're going to do the running recovery again because I want a succinct class that Jason can kind of refer to when he comes down. Okay, so Jason Cruz is going to come down. He's going to be instructing while I'm gone for a couple of weeks. Cool? All right, because he's fucking awesome.
no, don't leave.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to do our warm-up with our hips and our shoulders to build a frame, and we're going to move into the running recovery one more time. Okay? So starting with your feet, like railroad ties in line with your hip bones with your shoulders. What I want you to do here, keep your shoulders touching the ground for this one. You're not moving with it just yet. I want you to turn your heels. When you turn your heels, you're going to see your knees turn as well, okay? When your heels turn, we're going to drive off the connecting foot and build a frame, all right? The most important part about this, when we do this motion, you don't want to over-exaggerate anything in either direction, okay? So if I build a frame in this direction, my heels are turning, this is going to be at a good 45, my foot's going to stay flat. This knee wants to drive into the ground, so we're going to turn our heel to the ceiling, okay? From here, I'm not lifting my hip to add weight, I'm just connected to the ground nice and solid. And it's just going to be a hip opening exercise. So we're not doing anything more than this. I want you guys to build up the muscle memory to start to build frames correctly, not, my hips are really fucking warm now. Just nice and slow and correct.
You don't want to be warm, you want to be hot. That's why.
Yes, I want to be hot. All right, let's give it a go. 3, 2.
Feel the burn on this one.
That's right, feel the burn. It's like 4 in the morning over there. I'm already lost. Like 2 people were actually watching it. Like 4 in the morning. Like, fuck you, bums.
You said fuck you.
I will say that a lot. I'm definitely not a good instructor. Don't move your upper torso. Leave your shoulders pinned to the ground. I want you to just function moving your hips. Just your hips. Good. Pull your heels up to your butt just a little bit. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. Good. So your job now is just to kind of walk around and make sure that they're doing it correctly bit by bit by bit. If they're doing it incorrectly, yell at them. A lot. You suck.
Okay.
Look at him go. It's fucking solid, actually.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Good. Yep. Stop everything up there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Just put your elbows on the ground and try to start to connect your body 1 bit at a time. And keep your head on the ground so you don't have to do shit. If your head comes off the ground, you're going to use your core.
Hell yeah. And we're working on hips, so we want to use as least of that as possible.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
Don't let your
core
core get too close.
takes over when you work on
See how your feet are getting closer each time? Come back to neutral. Yes. Okay, go again.
hips is more like shoulders and
Good.
toes
Keep it up.
and knees and head.
Good. Okay, time. So we're going to add on to this now. So, what I want you guys to focus on is not using your core, okay? Some of you have done this before. I want you to do it again because fuck you. From here, dig your fingers into your abs. If your head comes off the ground, you're going to feel your abs contract, okay? Regardless. Put your head on the ground. You're not going to feel that, okay? What I want from you is to learn how to connect to the ground in different ways and not use muscle. I want you to use movement instead of muscle for recovery. So if I was to straighten my leg to the ceiling and let it fly to the side, I'm going to have to use my core to bring it back. What I want you to focus on, let that leg go. Hang on 1 second. Let that leg go. Drive off of this elbow to bring this back without contracting your stomach, okay? So I want you to dig your fingers into your abs so that you feel yourself not using your core. Drive from the elbow to bring yourself back to neutral. And this is for you. I can't feel this for you, so you're going to have to fucking not lie to yourself, okay? Give it a go. What do you say?
I was just saying I'm learning to do this one.
Okay, I
So,
got you back.
but where do you want me to snap my elbow down at?
That's fine right there. So put your hand on the ground right now, and put your legs on the ground and everything relaxed. Take your fingers and start to dig into your stomach, and you feel your abs.
Okay.
Take your head off the ground and feel how your abs flex.
Okay.
Yeah, put it back. See how it's relaxed?
I'll flex.
The whole point of this exercise is to learn how to not use muscle, but to use the ground instead, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to straighten out your right leg to the ceiling,
Yep.
okay, let it fall towards me. Just let go. Perfect. If you squeeze your abs, you can bring it right back up, right? So do that. Squeeze your legs and bring your leg back up to the ceiling.
Like that as well.
Yeah, so you can feel your abs.
So that's when you want me to push my fingers into my abs.
Not necessarily. Bring your leg back. I want you to push from your elbow to bring that leg back.
Oh.
Yeah, look at that. You had a fucking moment, didn't you?
You want my hips to stay on the ground though, right?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, I just want you to make sure that you're not using your muscle to recover. How's everybody else doing?
Great.
Yeah, you all fucking black belts? Alright, let's add on to this shit. So, your job for this next movement is to not use your core for shit, okay? I want you to focus on that feeling rather than doing. So when I build my frame, I don't want to end up being late for anything, right? Andrew, can I borrow you for the sake of argument? If Andrew puts 2 hands on my hip bone and he just puts all of Andrew into that and says, fuck you, oh Andrew, come on, baby. Cool. If I'm here, I don't get to just turn, but if I build a frame, I can connect to the ground and move easily, okay? The same thing goes for the shoulder. So if he put 2 hands on my shoulder, from here, if I just move my hips, I'm late. If I connect my foot to my hip to my shoulder, I can move, okay? All right. What I want you guys to focus in on is not being late with the movement and using your connection. The only reason my fucking head's up so I can teach, by the way. When you're doing this, let your head stay down. Don't use your core. Use your connection to move, okay? So that means you're connecting foot. My shoulder is gonna follow my hip this time. So when I build my frame, my shoulder moves with my hip, and I'm gonna go to a 90-degree angle, okay? And I want you guys to focus, like the ones that have done this before, I want you to focus more on your stomach than anything, okay? I should be able to do this motion, and my stomach should be completely relaxed, okay? I should be able to do this motion, stomach is completely relaxed. The minute I start to squeeze my abs to do shit, power bar is going down, okay? Let's give that a go. Okay, pause here. Pull your heels up to your butt just a little bit more. Good. Spread them out just a tiny bit. Good. I want you to start to build a frame towards me. So start to turn your heels, just like you did before. Cool. Now stop here. I want your shoulder to come with it. So bring your shoulder over to me. Perfect. All right. I don't
This
want
is
that.
where we're incorporating tucking the chin.
Yeah, you're fine.
I don't have to tuck my head on this one, right?
All good. Keep your head as low as you can and get lazy.
Oh,
That
yeah.
way you're not going to use your core. Keep it up. And when you do this, go ahead and tuck your elbows to your side because we're going to do the running recovery. Okay? That's good, Cole. Fuck yeah. Nice and slow. Good. For you guys, fucking slow. Slower. I guarantee you guys suck. Alright? So connect to the ground. Do the trick where you're not using your core. You keep your head on the ground, you're not going to use your core. Alright? Your connection to the ground is way more important than you doing the move and looking cool. Yes. Good. Try and keep your head as low as possible to the ground. You don't have to lift your head for this one. Good. In fact, I want that knee on the ground too. Try again. Good. Yes. One more time this way. Perfect. Yes. Okay, let's add on to this. So we're going to build this frame, and we're going to add on. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to tuck your elbows to your side and onto the ground as well, okay? So you're not going to be hovering out here, and your arms aren't flailing, because every time I do shit, I'm in the way of me, okay? Your job is to learn how to get out of your own fucking way 90% of the time in jiu-jitsu, okay? It's not just moves. If I'm here and I roll over, this shit's in my way, okay? So what I want you to do, keep your elbows tucked to you and to the ground. Build your frame, your shoulder and your hip follow, and from here, I want you to slide your arm underneath and build another frame, okay? So behind me, there should be a triangle of elbow, right? My hands are on my ribs. My shoulder has not gone past 90. I'm not collapsing, okay? If you get stuck because you weren't connected to the ground, it is completely fine to bridge and pull, okay? But that just means you gotta do more shit, all right? So try and do less shit all the time. Tuck your elbows to you and the ground. Build your frame, your shoulder follows your hip. Keep your head low. And I want you to slide that hand until you can touch your rib cage. And you come back to neutral and do it again on the other side. Okay, let's go. This class is too small to be a class. Like, I need 10 at least for a clap. It's just too weird.
Yeah.
The clap
We're
is
gonna
weird.
have at least 5 people mess
It's
it up.
a different kind of clap. What'd you say?
At least 5 people to mess it up.
Yeah, exactly. I need one Maynard to go 7, 9, 12. Ah! Good. Yep, good. Keep your elbow tucked to the ground as well, Cole, on both sides. Don't be late. Yep. All right, tuck your elbow to the ground. Pull it out from underneath you. That's good. That looks good, man.
This is my whole body stretch.
Watch it. Quiet. Quiet. Remember, we don't want to destroy the frame while we're doing this because we're bearing weight the entire time. I'm gonna show you the next part in 2 seconds.
Hey, that guy that was up there earlier, was that the guy that was in this class with you?
Absolutely no idea.
The one that was bored?
A lot of ball guys in jiu-jitsu, you're gonna wanna get used to that one.
Alright.
Everyone's in the fight club. All right, time. Andrew. Now, the reason we're doing this motion is called a running recovery because, God forbid, somebody ends up behind you when they pass the guard, okay? So just as an example, if I was to have thrown his legs that fucking way, and now I'm behind him, right now, the way I'm controlling him is gonna be a little bit hard for him to turn back to me unless, I suck. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of people suck at this shit. So, if I'm here and I'm hugging the shoulder versus the hip, there's a bunch of different things that we can do about this. But right now, what he's gonna perform is called a running recovery, okay? So instead of trying to turn back towards me, slow move. Actually, come over here. Get on the camera for everybody.
Oh boy.
Excuse me. Yeah, they're judging you over there.
Oh, sure.
Turn on your side. Okay, right now, if his knees are flat, he's compressed and he's bearing all of my weight, okay? If he was to build a frame, and time. I'm gonna do it up on this side. You're fine.
I've done that in months.
I know. In a week.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. Okay, so from here, if I'm curled up and this is just shit fight city, okay? My job is actually to build a frame and make a connection to this person, okay? My connection is on the ground. Now from here, when I start to inflate, I need to get out of my own way. And there's a million things we can add on to this. But for today, what we're going to do is we're going to build another frame, connect to the ground, and recover from the person, okay? So let's do that one more time. And you're okay, I'll do the whole move with you in a second. But let's finish off what we're doing. You're here, you build your frame, connect it to the ground, elbow slides underneath. Now, nothing's in my way anymore, okay? The only thing in the way is fucking me. If all that weight gets pushed onto me, this is very uncomfortable, right? So what I wanna do is I wanna build a frame that can bear the weight, right? So now, it's hard to pull me back because of this elbow. It's hard to push me forward because of this frame, okay? Now from here, I need to get up. I'm not gonna push off of the ground and just kind of try and roll out from underneath. I'm gonna make a firm connection by turning my forehead to the ground, okay? I push from my elbow, just like we were doing before. Instead of using the core, I'm gonna push from my elbow and my foot to bring my weight into my head, okay? And we're gonna stop at that for now. So again, I'm here, frame, I'm never gonna be late. I tuck, and now I thread the needle. When you guys thread the needle, I'm gonna come around, I'm gonna test, okay? And I'm gonna push. If you thread the needle and you look like this, you're gonna get crushed. If you look like this, you're gonna get crushed. I want 45 just like before, 45 just like before, okay? Now if Andrew put 2 hands on my knee and started to lean into it, I should be able to bear that weight easily, okay? Now, keep it up. Yep. If it's off, it's off, okay? So what I want you guys to start to do is feel jiu-jitsu more than fucking see it, okay? So again, I get here, boom, sliding the hand. My legs are gonna thread at the same time, okay? I'm not taking a big step. That's a very common mistake. I don't want a disconnection from the ground, okay? If someone's leaning weight into me and I disconnect, I have nothing to connect to them with. I need to be connected to them and then to the ground, okay? Now last part of this, don't just push off the ground, you're gonna end up breaking your neck. Look at the ground, touch your head to the ground, push off your elbow into your head, and come up on your knees. The final thing I wanna talk about is, if I leave my chin up, I'm gonna break my neck, okay? There's a kink in my spine. If I was to curl my chin down, I wanna touch right where the hairline starts, okay? I should be able to bear weight here, okay? Here, it's just getting very fucking uncomfortable. Last time, light fluid motion. Build your frame, connect to the ground, and come up to your knees. So any questions? Alright, let's give it a go. 3, 2, 1. You guys should be doing this. If you're not doing this in Clint's class, tell Clint to watch this video. Should be part of your warm-up. If you're doing hip escapes, I'm happy, but I also want you doing double hip escapes, running recoveries. All of these things need to be implemented, okay? And you guys should be guns at fucking hip escapes by now. Jesus Christ, it's been like a year of me gone. So that being said, the whole point of this class is 15 minutes of a warm-up, 15 minutes of an explanation, and we're doing a move in depth, okay? And at the end of that, I'm going to show the move in action. Usually if there's an extra couple minutes, I'll talk about breathing and how to breathe under duress, but I don't know how much you guys know about that. Remember guys, I want you to focus on keeping your head as low to the ground as possible and not using your core. You can feel your abs. I can't. Good. Yes, that was good. Up, down on both elbows and both knees. Good.
Can you help me from here?
Yeah, man. Okay, so put your elbow on your knee. I'll go back a step. Put this hand just here. Open hand. Put your palm down. This one. Put your elbow underneath. Yes. Good. Okay, so pause where you are. Should be able to add some weight to you. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Now from here, I want you to put your forehead on. Good. I want you to push off of your left elbow to get up on your head, get up on your knees. That's it. You did it. That was perfect. Good work.
And from here?
Nothing. Just go back and do it again.
Go back and use it.
For the rest of your life, trust me. Yeah, watch out for that Fred. Don't let it extend. Yes. That's difficult. It's going to be a little bit easier if you straighten out your leg. So watch me. Pay attention to this leg. When I do this, or do this, I'm not going to stay here because that knee's kind of in my way. What I want to do, I want to get that out of my way. Come on. Okay? This starts to straighten out that back leg and make your life easier. Perfect. Good work. Okay, everybody seems like they're doing pretty good. Okay, so let's make this a thing. Can I borrow you, Andrew?
Yeah.
I'll get you to lay down right here. The thing is, if he's doing something correct, and I'm a step behind, I always have to catch up with this guy, okay? So if I need to catch up with him, what's happening? He just locked himself out.
You just learn how to use keys.
Okie dokie. Right now, I'm just gonna keep teaching while he's doing this. Okay, we're locked in now. What happened?
Who is that?
Who was that?
I want to make these guys on there, man.
Right up, so scoot over this way a little bit, please. What the fuck happened there? Turn on your side, I threw your legs across and you didn't recover in time, I'm on your back, holy shit. Right, so sometimes having your back turned is not necessarily the worst thing. And I'll turn around and show you in just a second. So from here, his job is not to be a floppy ball of shit. His job is to make a connection to the ground and inflate, okay? Now he can use that against me in multiple ways. But right now, if I'm trying to catch up and he's a step ahead, he's always going to have me chasing him and I'm gonna leave something behind every time, okay? You guys have heard me talk about not having your nose before your toes, right? If my nose is before my toes, I'm getting pulled in a direction. Right now, if he starts to do the running recovery, yep, good, 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 good. Pause. Is my nose before my toes? Yep. Me trying to stop this asshole gave him everything that he wanted. Now he's got a defensive hook, an attacking hook. There's a ton of stuff that I left behind, right? It's up to the person and how much they know, okay? So, let's do that one more time, and you'll feel exactly what to do. So, one more time, because I'm going to go way over there. Turn on your side. Slow motion run recovery. Yeah. Good work. Solid. Do that again. Let's see if we can find something to beat out around the Attaboy. Scoot back this way one more time.
Pretty unusual.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Okay, super slow. Go again. Close.
Sorry, I saw the back open and
It's
I
okay.
thought,
So, that's the force for the trees. Come here one time. Up on your knees. Pause where you are. This is mine, okay? So just go ahead and relax. Don't put any weight on me.
Gotcha.
Here, here. Stay exactly where you are.
Uh-huh.
Yes, there's a back door. I could take the back. What else do I have?
Darn.
There's nothing wrong with just finishing the move from here, okay? So, when you do this, remember, I'm here. You're gonna go out that back door and all of a sudden, fuck, you got me, okay? So there's gonna be a whole bunch of things that you can start to add on to this. It's not necessarily just gonna be like, I'm gonna get my guard. No, I'm gonna get an arm lock. I'm gonna get a Kimura. I'm gonna get a sweep. I'm gonna get, okay? Some of you have seen me pull Kasekatami off of that. There's a fuck ton of stuff that you can do, okay? But the most important thing is collapsing the frame. So, at the start of class, remember we were doing this, locking the core, opening the hips, and now for me to get up, not using muscle for recovery, I'm using movement and connection to the ground, okay? I don't have to be strong, I don't have to be fast, I have to be lazy, okay? So now, click, click, fighting base. When I do this motion, 1, 2, 3, my job is not to turn towards this guy. My job is to collapse the frame and come towards this guy, okay? So we're doing the exact same motion, but we're going super slow. So one last time, what I want you guys to do at the end of this is that you're gonna go both ways, okay? So this will be a warm-up for you one day. Build your frame, make a connection. Concentrate on not using your core. From here, concentrate on not using your core. From here, that asshole right here. Concentrate on not using your core, okay? Now look where I am. I'll fucking do it again. For the rest of my life, I'm just gonna keep building that frame, collapsing that frame, and getting good at it. Any questions? All right, let's go. 3, 2.
At least we were right time.
What'd you say?
She and I did the clapping. We were right time.
3, 2, 1.
Thanks, buddy.
There you go. There you go.
I can't do the move without it.
The moves don't exist without the clap.
Like Tinkerbell.
I hope you guys are still implementing the clap over there. You're not doing it. It's just you're missing out on team building exercise 101. Get them all cleaning the mats together and clapping together. Yeah, we're a team. Fucking laugh. Yeah, fuck you guys. It's a fight club. Go fucking fight. One at a time, I check each person and see for deficiencies, okay? There's a deficiency in the frame, I let them know. There's a lack of connection, like that was the thing, okay? Let's just try that one more time. Yeah, so remember to walk around and go each person and check for deficiencies in slow motion. So it's super slow. Pause here, stay exactly where you are. Punch back. Okay, now start to straighten out what I got from underneath you. Get it out of your way. Start to come up to your knees. Good. Now, collapse this foot underneath you and start to turn towards the person who's coming at you. So straighten out your right leg. Good. Perfect.
I do once again because like I lost my memory.
All good. So I tell you what, the main thing I want from you today, because I think you've only done it once, what I want is this. If you can start to do this frame and this shoulder, and then pause here, go back to move. Actually, hop up for a second more. So simply what I want from you specifically today, I want you to turn your heel and your shoulder is your hip, okay? I don't want you to do anything other than just roll onto your side,
Yeah.
okay? Hold your frame, don't use your core, roll onto your side.
Alright.
You don't have to tuck the elbow or anything, that's what I want you to do. So,
here, but the frame. That's so good. I can feel it now.
Yeah, I want you to use your stomach, and when you do this, I want you to concentrate on two things. Have to watch me one last time. Watch what happens with this foot. When I do this, it's not going to look like this. You see how there's a space underneath? Watch my heel. I want you to do that every time. Turn your heel to the ceiling to take up the gap on your knee in the ground. Those are doing very good. Yep. Frame. Good. Collapse. Back to neutral. I gotta do it again. Okay, fine. So let me show you why we get what we get off of this. Okay, we'll go here. Let you lay that way. Same as we were doing. So the reason we get things, we don't just take what we fucking want. We take what's left behind, right? So if I'm behind him, my arms aren't connected. That's the thing. I might let go because I don't want to get pulled. Okay. So if I'm here with a seatbelt, yes. From here, my hands aren't grasping. If they're grasping, I'm going for a ride. Make sense? If I'm a part of him and he moves, I'm fucking moving with him. Now, when he starts to build his frame, he starts to do the running recovery. Yep, continue, pause here. There's two things that can happen. Well, three. One, I could be a fucking part of him and I get moved with him, right? Two, I could let go and I move back, right? Three, I stay hip to hip. I'm following you. Does this look familiar? All right. So every single one of those is an escape or a submission in multiple ways, right? So if my arm is loose and there's a space between my hip bone and his hip bone, I want you to collapse your frame, keep your elbow tight to you. Yes, come out the hole. Okay, pause here. Okay, I want you to build a frame, and I want you to keep me connected to you, and I want you to start to lift your butt off of the mat and turn. Good. The trick is to add weight, okay? Not be stronger. So when you get a move like this, it's not about crank the arm and hope for the best. Like, I'll straighten my arm, I'll run away. Your job is to start to add weight to the person, okay? So one time I want you to be my partner, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna talk about the frame that I use just for the end of class. So hands loose, pause here. As I start to build my running recovery frame. From here, my elbow's tucked, okay? Connect to the ground, I get up, there's a space between me and him. I'm gonna take advantage of that space by collapsing the frame. When I collapse that frame, it's not about me hugging the arm and going for an arm lock. It's about me making it a part of my body and making my body a part of him, okay? You notice you can slide a piece of paper under my butt? It's not this, it's this. My weight goes into him and it's my body turning, okay? So you're still building your frame. Don't get lazy with it. They'll drive back into you, they'll flatten out. Keep your weight on them, turn your torso off of the frame, okay? Oh man, scene, fuck yeah. All right, so any questions about today's class? Cool? Okay, 15 minutes of cleanup and then it's fundamentals. One big clap to end the class. Good work. You guys, I guarantee you still fucking suck. Probably keep doing that forever and ever and ever and ever.